Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dorothy Cornelius, and I am a caregiver. I work in a long-term care facility as a recreation aide. And in my previous video, I talked about how you can get into this job without having the background that I have, educational background that I have. That is, I'm in a program in school right now under hospitality, that is recreation and leisure service, that helped me get into the job I am doing now. If you're doing kinesiology, physiology, child education, human resource, you can still get into the program. If you want to know more about it, please check my previous video. Thank you very much. In this video, I am still going to talk about caregiving, but I'm going to tackle essential certifications that help me get into this job. Yes, there were certain certifications that I needed to have. Some I got them courtesy of me being a student in a college here and studying recreation and leisure service as my program, and also some I got them myself because I needed to get them, especially for my first job here as a hospitality attendant. It was something that I had to do, so I paid for them and I trained and I got my certification, and that helped me get my first job here. And the others I got them courtesy of me working as a recreation aide in a long-term care facility. So yeah, I'm gonna get right into that. So if you're an international student here and you're thinking of going into caregiving, specifically as a recreation aide or a facilitator, this video is for you. Stick and stay. I'll be right back.
If you ride with me, don't gotta work for the both of us. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the love.
Yes, I know I am a caregiver, but I will keep saying this in all my videos that are related to caregiving so people can know the difference. I am not a nurse, I am not a personal support worker, I am a recreation aide. Even though I am a caregiver, my job is different. I work hand in hand with nurses and personal support workers. I am not a nurse. My job is to put activities together, activities that are age appropriate for seniors, to stimulate them cognitively, to keep them happy, to keep them entertained, and to keep them in a good mood. And it's easier said than done, but we don't get into what nurses or PSW do. I just want to put that out there so you know that in as much as I'm talking about caregiving as a job that I do, it is not the ones that we all know as in me being a nurse or a personal support worker. So there you go. Now let's get right into the main agenda for today. Like I said, we're looking at essential certifications that help me get into the job I am doing now. These certifications, they are all my certifications. Some I got them on my own and they were on my CV that I submitted when I was applying for the job. There are others that are on my resume now that I got courtesy of me being a worker or an employee at a long-term care facility, meaning that it's the establishment that helped me get those certifications. So let's know the difference. Okay, thank you very much. But those ones too, you can get them yourself, honestly. So we'll get into it. First certification I got myself is a smart serve certification, and you can read on that to know what a smart serve certificate is. The training was online. I did that. Then you write your quiz, your test. If you pass, you get your certification. So I got that for my very first job here in Canada. That is a job as a hospitality attendant. I had to get, it was one of the requirements. And God being so good, when I applied for this job, it was one of the requirements as well. So I already had it. I just threw it in there. Second one is a food handling certificate. And it also something that I got on my own because I realized that it goes hand in hand with smart serve, because smart serve is more like a drink alcohol regulations and rules here in Ontario, and the food certification has to do with how you handle food. And I was working in a drive-through last summer, and I needed to have that as well to know what it is when it comes to storing food, what degree, what temperature, and all that. It was a must, so I got that as well. So those are the two that I got on my own. I got them personally and I paid for them. So let's move on to the certificates that I got due to the fact that I am a student offering recreation and leisure service program here in Canada. The first one I got was High Five certification. I got that certification through one of the courses that we did, and I think in my second semester. Yes, we got that. It gives me that, you know, I wouldn't say right. It gives me that privilege to work with kids. The high five certification that we got in school gives me the privilege to work with kids. So if I have that on my resume and I apply to work with kids, I have a fair chance because that is what this one is about. But we have a second one that is for older folks. We are yet to take on that. We were supposed to do that last semester. We didn't. So I'm hoping that we get that. And it's part of the program. I think we've already paid for it. So yeah, I got that through school. And the second one I got through school is the Tri Council Policy Statement, Ethical Conduct for Research Involving Humans. That is the TCPS 2 Core 22 certification. Yes, I know it's a long name, but we did one research course back in I think the first or second semester as well, and it was given to us, and the professor advised us to put it on our resume because it is very useful in our line of work and in our program. So yeah, so I have it on there as well, and that is also what helped me get into the job I'm doing now. So those are the two that I got from school. And let's move on to the certifications that I got due to the fact that I am now an employee at a long-term care facility here in Canada. The first one that I got is called the Gentle Persuasive Approaches GPA in Dementia Care. That is the Advanced Gerontology Education. I got it recently, yes, when I got into the job. I think after 2 months into my job, we had that training and I signed up for it. And yes, it was a day training. After that, we got our certification for it. And I put that on my resume. Yeah, I mean, to show that indeed I've gone through training when it comes to working with older folks and all that. And the second one that we are yet to get is the CPR and the first aid certification. Yes, I yet to do that in the fall season. So when we do that training, I would have that certificate as well. But the thing to the CPR and the first aid certification is that you can do that on your own. It was actually part of my plan to get that because if I didn't get into this job, I would have gone in for those certifications myself because it's one of the essential ones that you need, honestly. CPR, first aid, those are like the butter to that bread. You can't go without it because you're dealing with people, kids, older folks, whoever it is. CPR, first aid is like the national anthem when it comes to caregiving. If you're not doing nursing, if you're a caregiver, CPR, first aid is a bomb. So if you're coming in here, right, and you're thinking of getting into these, jobs, even without experience, and you want to get your foot at the door, trust me, if you can get your CPR and your first aid certification coupled with your smart serve or your and your food safety certificate, trust me, you have a shot. You have a shot at this job, especially if you're lucky and the recruiter is looking for newbies. You are a step closer to maybe even booking an interview or something like that, because I feel like once you get through the interview, once you get opportunity to have an interview with a recruiter, that is where you need to show them why you should be picked. Because this job, like I keep saying, it's more about you being creative, having empathy, and showing that you are passionate about you serving people. So they see it when you talk, they see it in your mannerism, they see it when you answer questions. Yes, maybe you might not have those professional answers for them, but when they see it, some of them, they look at your mannerism, they look at how you go about answering your questions, and the passion to what comes to you dealing with issues, when it comes to maybe when they leave older adults in your care, how you're going to take care of them, apart from common sense and street sense, you need to know that you are passionate about serving people and caring for people. Those ones, no matter what you do on your certificate, when you go into that room and you're cold, my brother, my sister, it's hard for you to get that job if you're cold, because you cannot be cold. You cannot. You get me? You need to ooze that empathy for them to see it, sympathy, whatever thing that has to show that you care for people. It needs to show. in the way you talk, in the way you move, in the way you answer your questions, the way you think about it before you talk. You get it? So if you're somebody that you don't, customer care is not your thing, honey, my brother, do something else, okay? Don't stress. Exactly. Because they can see right through you. Because such people, honestly, these most of these people that you go for these interviews for, they've been in the business for years, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. So they've seen it all. Honey, I'm telling you, they've seen it all. So you can fake it, but you might break somewhere somehow, especially if you don't have experience in it. They can see right through you, honey. So if you don't want it, especially you don't want it, it's not something that you want, you're thinking of just the bread, I mean just the money, then you better be a good actor, because trust me, these recruiters or these program managers, they see right through you, my sister. There you have it. Those are the certificates that I have on my resume currently, and I'm looking forward to doing more whilst I gain experience, because honey, at this point, there's so many people looking for caregiving jobs. Honey, you need to find a way to stand out. So if you can, if you're in here, like I said, and you can get these certification on your own, sacrifice and get it, because you'll never understand why we are all crying that we don't have jobs, but people are getting jobs day in day out because they're doing the job, they're doing the work that you are not willing to do. They are meeting these recruiters halfway. By halfway, they are setting themselves up themselves. You don't have to, well, if I can get my CPR, if I can get my first aid after I get a job, then I'll wait after I get a job, because you're not ready to pay. I think the CPR and the first aid certification goes for, I think, $200 or so. I mean, it's a bit on the high price, but if you sacrifice and you're able to get that, trust me, you will not be part of the bunch that is always talking. You'll never be part of that bunch that is always talking about how we don't have jobs. You wonder how there's certain people that do not complain at all, or they're always finding jobs, and you're wondering because they do the dirty job. They take that long shot, the ones that you are not willing to take, the ones that you are not willing to take. And that is why I'm here to talk about these things. So if you can watch this video today, please do watch it. And if you're coming in here, don't make the same mistakes that we did. Some of us, we are learning the hard way, but we are learning anyway. So we put out this information for you coming in to have it easier, because they don't say it. You know what I'm saying? People don't say the truth. They don't say it as it is. They sugarcoat it. Some of us, we're saying it because we know how it is. I mean, I'm just doing it because I feel like, yeah, there's certain things that we don't know. And we just sit at home and, you know, we are depressed because we're not getting jobs, when there's certain things that we can do for ourselves. Honestly, I always say this: let's exhaust all options before we come out to say we are not getting this, or we are not doing that, or we come ranting. Because honestly, like I keep saying, nobody cares. Now I'm moving out of the topic for today. Let me come back. Let me come back. So yeah, there you have it. So these are the certifications that help me, get my current job. So like I said, if you're an international student and you're looking forward to, get it into this job or this field, caregiving, specifically to being a recreation aide or a recreation facilitator, these are some of the certifications that, if you can get them on your own, please do work on it and get them on your own, because trust me, it gives you that upper hand when recruiters are looking for the best candidates for the job. At least these don't get you the job, they will. When I say will, I know what I'm saying. They will definitely get you to the interview stage where you can now go in and show your skills and talk and convince them as to why you are the best candidate for this job. So there you have it. My name is Dorothy. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. See you in my next video.